Episode 3, The Gathering of Heroes. Under the cloak of night, the camp of Liu Bei lies silent, save for the flickering of oil lamps. Inside the war tent, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei bend over, a battle map, their faces grave. The Yellow Turbans, though battered, are gathering strength once more. Every line upon the parchment could mean the lives of thousands. In the tense silence, the brothers' resolve hardens. They know that tomorrow's clash may decide not only victory, but also the fate of countless innocents who look to them for salvation. From beyond the horizon, the rumble of war drums grows louder, shaking the earth. A sea of yellow banners unfurls against the grey sky as the rebels march with unyielding fury. Farmers, turned into soldiers by desperation and anger, beat their chests and raise their weapons high. Though poorly armed, their sheer numbers create an overwhelming wave. Dust rises with each step, a choking storm that heralds their relentless approach. The Han defenders know this is no ordinary battle, but a storm that could engulf them all. The two forces collide with the sound of clashing steel and war cries echoing across the plain. Arrows rain from above, spears thrust from every angle, and the cries of the wounded mingle with the roar of battle. Han soldiers fight valiantly, but the rebel tide presses hard, threatening to break their formation. Smoke and dust veil the sun, turning day into a scene of chaos and bloodshed. In that moment, the balance of life and death hangs on a knife's edge. Suddenly, like a dragon descending upon the battlefield, Guan Yu rides forth upon his red-hair steed. His blade, the green dragon crescent, flashes in the light, sweeping aside foes as though they were reeds before the storm. His tall figure towers above the chaos, calm yet unstoppable, inspiring awe and fear alike. Each strike is precise, each movement filled with a righteous might that seems almost divine. To the soldiers who watch, Guan Yu is not merely a man, he is a force of destiny itself. Not to be outdone, Zhang Fei lets out a roar so fierce that even the bravest rebel quails in fear. Muscles straining, eyes blazing, he charges with his serpent spear, cleaving through enemy lines. His voice shakes the heavens, his presence scattering the weak-hearted like leaves in a storm. Where Guan Yu strikes with calm precision, Zhang Fei smashes with raw power, embodying the unstoppable fury of war itself. Together, their contrasting might becomes the hammer that shatters the enemy's advance. Amidst the storm of blades, Liu Bei does not waver. From horseback, he calls out to his men, his voice steady, his hand pointing with command. Soldiers regroup under his direction, lines reform, and panic gives way to discipline. The jade belt at his waist glimmers faintly, a reminder of his noble heart, even in the mud of battle. Unlike his brothers, Liu Bei wields not just weapons, but leadership itself, the unseen blade that binds men together and turns chaos into victory. For days, the battlefield groans under the weight of endless struggle. Blood soaks the soil. Banners lie tattered in the mud, and the cries of the wounded echo beneath the grey skies. The Yellow Turbans, once fierce and unyielding, now stagger with exhaustion. Hunger gnaws at them, morale falters, and their once thunderous drums now beat faintly like the last breath of a dying storm. The tide has begun to turn. And at the heart of the Han defense stand three figures, moving as one. Guan Yu's blade sweeps wide, Zhang Fei's spear thrusts deep, while Liu Bei directs the flow like a conductor of war's cruel symphony. Every movement complements the other, every strike strengthens the line. Their bond is more than blood, It is a unity of spirit forged in trust and righteousness. Together, they become an unbreakable wall, an unyielding beacon of hope. The rebels, their courage drained, begin to falter. Weapons slip from weary hands, discipline collapses into chaos, and soon the once mighty host scatters like chaff before the wind. Smoke and dust swallow their retreat, while the Han soldiers press forward with renewed vigor. What began as a wave of fury now ebbs away in panic and despair. The Yellow Turban rebellion, once feared, begins to crumble beneath the weight of defeat. As the dust of battle settles, the cries of war give way to the songs of joy. Villagers emerge from hiding, faces wet with tears of relief. They bow low before their saviors, offering thanks with trembling hands. Children smile again, lanterns are raised, and voices echo with gratitude. In this moment, the people see not just warriors, but protectors, men who fought not for glory or riches, but for justice and the peace of the land. Far away, within the marble halls of the capital, word of victory arrives. Courtiers in splendid robes kneel before the throne, their voices rising in praise of the Han's triumph. The young emperor, pleased yet fragile, listens as sunlight streams through the high windows, casting a glow upon the grand hall. For a brief moment hope stirs in the heart of the empire. Yet behind the smiles of officials, whispers of ambition begin to stir. But celebration is short-lived, for from the shadows steps a figure whose name would darken history, Dong Zhuo. His massive frame clad in blackened armor, his eyes glinting with cruelty, he strides into the court with the arrogance of one who fears nothing. Courtiers tremble, their joy turned to dread as this ruthless warlord casts his shadow across the emperor's fragile light. Through cunning and brute force, Dong Zhuo coils his grip around the imperial court. Officials kneel, generals bow, and even the emperor's gaze falters beneath his glare. The court, once a place of dignity, becomes a stage for fear and manipulation. With every decree, Dong Zhuo bends the empire closer to his will, while the people suffer under the weight of his corruption. Beyond the palace walls, the land groans in misery. Officials grow fat on stolen wealth, soldiers harass villagers for coin and pleasure, and honest men weep in silence. The skies themselves seem to darken, as though heaven mourns for the empire. Under Dong Zhuo's shadow, the people cry out for justice, but none dare to raise their voice. None, save a few. In a modest inn, away from the glitter of courts, Liu Bei sits with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. Their voices are low but firm, their eyes burning with resolve. Though they are but minor lords, they cannot remain silent while tyranny spreads unchecked. United by brotherhood, guided by righteousness, they vow in secret to resist Dong Zhuo's cruelty, no matter the cost. Like fire carried by the wind, news of Dong Zhuo's treachery spreads across the provinces. Warlords from every corner of the realm gather in their halls, poring over maps, sending riders across rivers and mountains. Old rivalries are set aside as a greater threat emerges, one that demands unity or doom. Among the voices that rise, one shines with uncommon brilliance. Cao Cao, young, sharp-eyed, with a mind as quick as lightning. He is no mere warrior, but a strategist whose plans reach further than others dare to dream. Though his rank is small, his ambition is boundless, and already the path of history bends subtly toward him. Standing tall and proud, Yuan Shao claims the mantle of leadership. His armor gleams, his words carry authority, and around him the the banners of 18 lords wave in the wind. For the first time in years, the fractured land begins to unite, their strength aimed at one common enemy, Dong Zhuo. The earth shakes beneath the march of countless soldiers. Banners of every color rise against the sky, drums thunder like rolling storm clouds, and horns announce the coming of a great reckoning. The Allied forces, though diverse in ambition and origin, now march as one, their goal clear, the liberation of the Han. And within this sea of power, three humble brothers stand quietly, their white, green, and black robes a simple contrast to the ornate armors around them. Yet their courage shines brighter than gold, their bond stronger than armies. Though their names are not yet sung across the land, destiny waits, knowing that from these three will rise legends that endure through the ages.
Wait, watching but not subscribed? Come on, it's free.